In this video, I'm going to share how I finally figured out, for me, how prayer works. I will share later 2 examples of many from my experience how I prayed and how I actually received answer. But first, I'm going to talk about some rules when it comes to prayer. I want to keep this video simple and practical, so I don't want to go into metaphysics of it, who actually listens to and responds to prayer. Is it God? Is it your spirit guides? Is it your higher self? Let's just call it spiritual forces, okay? So the first rule is that you cannot blackmail God or spiritual forces into response or into help. It may sound silly, but I never was a big prayer guy in the past. I didn't really believe that, but I'm sure some of you will relate to it, that in my desperate moments in my life when I was like very at the bottom, I was like, oh God, just show me a sign or just help me, whatever. Show me that you listen to me, the very desperate call, kind of like a blackmail. And it never really works. Why? That's a different story, but keep in mind that all that exists, this life included, exists for you to grow, to mature spiritually. And so prayer is not a cheat code to just to make any wish happen. It's not a genie in a bottle that will give you whatever you ask. But how you pray, you basically, and where it comes from, what's the actual intent, is kind of broadcasting to higher realms, to higher beings. What's your spiritual maturity? If you're praying for a car or for easy money because you feel like you deserve it, or want to blackmail God into giving you whatever you think you deserve, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it might work. It's not so black and white. For example, because it depends where it comes from. And there's a huge complexity behind all that is visible to us, how it all works. For example, you might ask to get something and you might actually receive it, whether it's a car or some money or whatever, because maybe this will help you to grow currently. Maybe it's a nudge that you need to open up, that there is more to life than that. But it's not something you can rely on. You see, if you just say, intent is, let me back off for a moment. Intent, where it's coming from, is more important than what you ask. And to explain what I mean is that it's completely different if you ask for money because you feel like you deserve it. Life is unfair and you're a good person or whatever, or you just feel like you deserve it. It's completely different than praying from your heart and saying, God or guides or whatever, show me, why do I struggle with money? Help me see. Why am I creating this scarcity for myself? Why do I experience lack? Help me understand. If it's coming from your heart, it's a genuine question, genuine prayer, that you're humble and you want to grow, you want to understand. You'll always get an answer for this. You see, every prayer is heard. And if it's coming from a genuine place, not like ego-centered, it will be answered. But the question is, will you receive it? Will you notice it? Because what many people, I think, miss, I know I missed when I played with prayer earlier in my life, is that we tend to expect that it will just come to us. But creation doesn't work like that. It usually, there are exceptions, but it usually requires active listening and active participation sometimes. I'll give you two examples that I have, prayed so many times, and the answer always comes. You just need to know how to listen and how to look out for it. But two examples. One, I had a very specific question about what should I do in a specific situation for my best benefit, for my growth and all that. But it was a very specific scenario. And I prayed from my heart. And the next day, I hear my girlfriend is talking with her friend, and her friend is into things like oracle cards, tarot, crystals, all kinds of rituals and magic, right? And suddenly, let me back off, step back. And they're talking, for a long time. And the friend says to my girlfriend that, she has this new oracle deck and she can pull out one card for her. And the moment I heard that, I got this intuition, like, I want a card too. I was a little bit, shy to jump in and interrupt, but I did. I followed that intuition. And I asked to get card reading for myself as well. I didn't want to interrupt, so I said, just send me the description of the card. And that was it. And guess what? The description of the card that she pulled out for me was it was very specific, but it was 100% perfect. And even especially the last paragraph was word to word crafted answer to my prayer. And I also felt it in my body, like this wave washing through me of good energy. So I knew that was the answer. But you see, I had to act on that. I had to listen to my intuition and act on that. It usually doesn't just come to you. Sometimes it does. But even if it does, you must still be aware to recognize that this is the answer. Second example. I had a very specific question about a specific thing. And I was wondering about that. And I prayed to get clarity on that. And interestingly, the same day, I just got this intuition to open a book that I have already read 2 or 3 times. And I opened the book and 2 chapters caught my attention. So I glanced over these 2 chapters, and in both of them were sections exactly about what I was asking. Interesting thing is that I read this book already 2 or 3 times, but I never really registered in my memory, in my consciousness. And interestingly, after reading these 2 fragments, I remembered one guy that I listened to or read 10 years ago, that he talked about it. And then I was able to Google it, and out of these 3 elements, I got very clear answer. And you see, I have so many stories of successful prayer that I could share. But this is private. I picked 2 examples that are not so specific. And they highlight the fact that you have to follow your intuition. But prayer works. Prayer works. And as long as it's made from a good place, it's a genuine desire to be better. You also have to be willing to take responsibility for yourself. For example, if you are in a difficult relationship, you should not pray that God help him see or change this person so he stops doing that. Remember, you are here for growth, and part of growth, actually very important element, is taking responsibility for yourself, for your life, for what you engage with, for what you call into your reality. So instead of praying, God, change him so he doesn't piss me off, you can pray, God, help me understand this situation. Help me see what is creating this. Why is it like this? And give me courage and strength to go through that. Help me see wisdom in it. Help me see what I need to learn from this situation. And then listen. Pay attention. It can be anything. It can be lyrics of a song that really resonate with you and move you emotionally. It can be suddenly someone recommends you a book. It can be a post on Facebook. It may be that you meet someone who's in a similar situation or went through a similar situation. There are many ways. And that's another rule, that when you pray, be grateful, feel gratitude that you have been listened, because you have been. And then let go of expectation how the response should come. It will come in the perfect time, in a proper way. So let go of those expectations and just pay attention. How do you know it's the answer? You'll just feel it. If it resonates with you or moves you, you will feel it, So, I hope this was helpful to you. Happy praying, happy living.